What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Litecoin today. It is the 30th day of November, and here we are sitting at about $84.48 with 7 hours and 6 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? 7 hours and 6 minutes left in the day, but also left in the month. We've got just a little bit of time left in this month here. The monthly close is not looking that friendly. We are down 11% this month. But in comparison to Bitcoin, you're actually doing a lot better. Negative 16% on Bitcoin, negative 11% for LTC. It's really not that bad. I did make a video yesterday talking about the top 10 cryptos and pointing out the various cryptos that have gained market cap dominance versus the amount that have lost market cap dominance this month of November. We didn't include Litecoin in there because it's not in the top 10, but Litecoin's market cap dominance has also actually grown this month, where Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, BNB, Dogecoin, they all lost market cap dominance, right? Hyperliquid even lost market cap dominance. But Bitcoin Cash, XRP, and Tron have gained market cap dominance this month. Litecoin, even though it wasn't in the top 10, I did look at the chart. We can look at it right now together. It did gain some dominance this month. Just a little bit, which is in itself something to celebrate, to be happy about, right? If we're looking at this, actually, I'm kind of curious. We haven't looked at this chart before. We do have bullish divergence on the RSI and on the stochastics. I would even say we have bullish divergence on the MACD, technically, by the oscillators, by the histogram. And I would expect that we do see some kind of turnaround here. I don't care if we're breaking out of the trend or if we're just getting some kind of lift that takes us, back up toward this lower high area. Whatever the case may be, that's a sizable increase in the Litecoin dominance to the crypto market cap, and that could definitely promote some upside, even at a minimum effect, let alone an overall relief rally effect, breaking this downtrend, which I do assume to happen. I do think that this next rally will lead to a break of this trend here, and not just in the dominance, but in the BTC chart as well. The Bitcoin and the dominance charts, they look pretty similar. They're pretty similar. They're not exactly the same, but they're pretty similar. We look at the monthly time frame here. You do have bullish divergence here as well. Bullish divergence on the stochastics and the MACD. You look at the weekly time frame. The RSI is neutral on the weekly time frame, which is actually a positive thing. Being neutral versus Bitcoin, you're kind of even implying that you want to go up here. Stochastics, MACD. MACD is kind of bearish, but you're about to cross. There's some good things loading up here. I really do think that this next move for Litecoin, whenever we do break out, I mean, even at a minimum standard, what we return to a lower high, that's still going to be fantastic. That's still a bigger move versus Bitcoin than we've seen, I mean, since 2022. Since November of 2022. What did Litecoin do in November of 2022? We had a nice 43% pump that month, which isn't as big as I'm expecting. I think that whenever we break out of this here, I think that we're going to see a much larger move, something that is more relevant towards relevant to the moves that we saw with Dash and Zcash. And if that's the case, we should be pushing up to our all-time highs and even past there. I do think that what Litecoin's been going through is a long phase of accumulation. I think that's what we're in, inside of an even longer consolidation phase here. And I think when this breaks, we'll likely contest this resistance point up here. And if that breaks, I mean, we will likely go to our immediate fib targets, which I would assume from a high to a low could be anything from $800 to $1,200, maybe even just above $1,200. This is the kind of next target area that we have, right? Let's see. Let's take a high to a low here. Yeah, it's pretty perfect. Maybe we can take the smaller range because it's more conservative. It's better to be conservative. So 772 to 1070, but somewhere, regardless, tomato, that's kind of the end result of what I expect this next move to bring us. Now, when do we get there is the question. We might kick this move off next month in December. Hell, we might even be at $200, $300 by the end of this year. Who knows? But when we get here, it could be, likely sometime either in January, February, or March is my thoughts. Could take a little bit of time because everything's gotten reset recently, right? We have to build some momentum before we break out. When we do break above $141, mark my words, we're going to straight teleport to our all-time high levels. We might dilly-dally a little bit from here, but I think we'll make short work of that and push higher. Looking at the short-term stuff, looking at the 1 hour time frame, let's zoom way the hell in now. Looking at this here, The RSI is neutral, not getting a whole lot off of this. I suppose there's bullish implications there, but same thing with the stochastics. I'm not really getting much of a read off that. I doubt we'll get, nothing much off of the MACD either. You're about to cross above the 0, you're about to push higher, whatever, but you could come down. If you're watching this video, you're at $84 right now. If you're watching this video and we're below $84 or we're even below these lows, it's not a problem. I highly doubt that Litecoin's in jeopardy here, but I'm not getting enough off the 1 hour time frame. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, maybe we get a little bit of something off of this. A little bit more bullishly implied. Still neutral, still very neutral, but you're finding support at the 40, which is nice. It's very, very common to kind of ping pong between this 60 and 40 level like this. So I think that the ball is in the Bulls' court. Let's see if they run with it. Let's see if they take it higher. The goal here would be to not find resistance here where you found resistance before, but to push higher into the overbought zone. We want to start getting overbought. We want to stop getting oversold. And again, there are some bullish implications here just because we do have lower lows in the RSI. We do have, I was going to say higher lows. I guess they're like flat lows. Really, it's like tandem lows. You don't really have lower lows here in the price, do you? Right? So lower lows in the RSI, consistent lows on the price. That is hidden bullish divergence to a certain degree. The stochastics have reset, and the MACD here, it's kind of in a weird positioning. Very neutral. Very truly neutral reading on the MACD there. What was it that I was going to say? I was just going to say something. I can't remember what it was. That's okay, though. Oh yeah, we broke out of this downtrend. So there's also further bullish implications because you broke out of that downtrend. I think we kind of have a date with destiny with the overbought zone before we see any kind of oversold readings again. Doesn't have to be that way. We could go oversold, but I think we have a date with destiny up here first. We'll see. Where are we? Where are we right here? Let's see. Low to high. Low to high. Maybe this is the high that we should take. I don't know. We're finding support at the 0.5. That's fine enough. It's kind of sloppy. Again, be open-minded. If we go lower, it's okay. $82 will likely hold us as support. $80 likely holds us as support, you know, if we go lower. But I'm not really expecting that we'd go lower from here. I think that we move up. But again, just talking about that, because I am expecting that we move up, you might be watching this and you're like, oh, he says it's moving up. That's awesome. So then if it goes down, oh, no. This means it's trash. It's 0. We're going to 0. No, probably not. We're probably going to hold support right below these lows. You know, it's nothing significant. Instead of going up right now, we'll go up later. You know, that's all it is. So I just want to make sure people are prepared for either outcome, because likely, regardless of whatever outcome we have, up immediately, down immediately, we're probably going to move up. Right? I've been saying the same thing for a lot of different cryptos today. Daily time frame. Looking at this here, the RSI is bearish beyond all belief. It's actually very bearish here. I shouldn't say very bearish. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but just you have this lower low, lower high. You're kind of moving sideways. It's typically whenever you get these lower low trends and then they shift into a sideways trend, you then shift into an upwards trend. You would think the sideways is then good, but the sideways at the low is typically bad, actually. Typically is where you see your worst stuff happen. On the bright side, you actually haven't gotten oversold at all. So you are bearish, but reluctantly so, which, you know, there's some good things to go off of with that, right? All in all, I don't really know what to make of this RSI. It does look bearish with the 4 hour and the 1 hour implications. I would think that we move higher. I just hope that we do hold this 40 area for support and that we do move higher. Because if we give it back, if we give it up and we come down, if we do see some red days, that could imply that we get oversold, and that actually could be a bad thing. We don't want to see that. But again, I'm under the impression that even if we do go down, we'll probably hold support around $80 to $82.50, something like that. MACD is bearish. Stochastics are bearish, but they've reset, and actually you're crossing bullish here and looking to get out of the oversold zone. That's nice. That'd be nice. Overall reset, ready to move up. You know, just for reference sake, the last time that you were down at the oversold level was here. Look at the reaction you had. The last time before that you were oversold was here. You were at the low. Look at the reaction you had. The time before that you were oversold. You're at your low points here, right? Literally at your low points here. The reaction you had was nice, right? Here when you're oversold, right there at a low point. I think it's obvious we're at a low point here. If we go a little bit lower, a little bit is the key word there, because we likely do start to move higher. Looking at the weekly time frame now, bumping it back out. We're at the same level now in the weekly RSI that we've been at really every single time that we found a low this cycle, right? We found a low back here. We found a low back here when the RSI was just a little bit lower than where it is now. We found our lows back here in this kind of range. We found our lows back here in this range, and at the very beginning of the bull market back here, we were at a low point as well. Did we move up immediately? No, we consolidated for months. Did we move up immediately? No, we consolidated for months. Did we move up immediately? Yes. Did we move up immediately? Yes. So with this reading, does that mean that we have to move up immediately? It can mean that. Doesn't mean that we consolidate for a couple months or a month. It can mean that, but likely we still move higher. Likely we are at a low point in the price. I'm pretty convinced of that. The one thing that has me a little bit iffy, the only thing that has me iffy at all on this weekly time frame, on this being the low, is the stochastics. Because whenever we correlate the RSI to this point, we typically are at the low points. But with the stochastics, all of those same exact low points that we just compared, they're typically oversold, or at least around that area. Here you're a little bit higher. So it's a little point of concern there, I suppose. That could allow for the price to go lower than I'm expecting it to go, but I don't know. If we go lower than $80, the amount of time that we're going to spend below there is so short-lived anyways, it's not going to matter. But I'm just rambling at this point. I mean, I think that we're going to move up higher. If we move lower, it's going to be an insignificant amount, both in time and in price, and then we should recover anyways. Once we take out 130, we get above like $135 there, we should be seeing a rapid increase to this $400 level and inevitably new all-time highs. That's the expectation there. So I am fully expecting that LTC BTC will break this downtrend. I shouldn't say, should I say down? I think it will break the downtrend, yeah. I was going to say I think it breaks the trend line, but maybe it doesn't break the downtrend, but it will. I think you'll take out this high. I do think LTC BTC will take out this high. Just like if we're looking at Zcash here, ZEC BTC, because again, I'm expecting Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash and maybe some other cryptos that have been consolidating for multiple cycles. They'll probably have a reaction like this. You know, if you're asking me about Zcash here, whenever we were comparing it to the Bitcoin chart, I would have had a hard time imagining that we get much past like this point here or much past this point here, right? I couldn't imagine getting above these lows, let alone breaking this overall trend. Like that just seemed crazy. But hey, we went higher. We straight broke it. We literally broke out of it and started a new trend here versus Bitcoin. Why can't Litecoin? Why can't Bitcoin Cash? Why can't other cryptos? And I think Litecoin especially is more than capable of doing that. So that's nice, right? You guys remember for a while we were considering that Litecoin by the end of the cycle could see a $4,500 to even a $13,000 price. And then there was a moment recently, like last month, that we took that target off the table because of this chart. We were comparing LTC to BTC, and we were like, we're probably not going to take out this high. You know, it's pretty improbable that Litecoin sees prices above $2,100. But then Zcash and Dash pumped, and we saw those results, and that got me thinking, if these guys can break out of their downtrend, surely Litecoin can as well. And with that, we have a whole new realm of possibilities, right? Whole higher levels to expect or maybe even anticipate by the end of this cycle. That definitely allows for Litecoin to see 45, 6,300, maybe even higher targets than we honestly assume. But there's a massive, absolutely massive consolidation phase here that we're in right now. We got to be toward the end of it, both here in this accumulation zone and just here as an overall phase. We've got to be at the end of it. And I think this reaction afterwards is going to be fantastic. I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. And of course, for any of the trolls out there, yes, I get it. We don't have to be at the end of anything. We don't have to. I'm just saying with this pattern, it really does seem like we're probably, all I'm trying to say is we're probably closer to the end of this pattern than we are to continue to consolidate forever. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to last this long. I doubt that. I think that we're more at a point to break out than anything, but time will tell. It starts with 135 to 140, 130, that area there. You break that, and then we'll see where we go from there. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.